بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد المعلم والحبيب وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dear fellow students, we continue our sessions on the text by Shaykh Abdurrahman bin Nasr Sa'di, آداب المعلمين والمتعلمين. And this text is a short text on the manners for teachers and students. And we have arrived at the fourth point, آداب الطالب. So this fourth point speaks about the manners of the student of knowledge, the talib, or the talibul ilm, as we know it. In this workbook here, there are 3 pages, and we're going to read from those 3 pages, and our main focus is on reading, and then we'll provide the English translation, and I might highlight 1 or 2 points here and there. So the benefit we gain here is, one, or the benefits, better to say, one, we improve our reading of Arabic, we improve our understanding of Arabic, and we benefit from the contents of the text. And since we are all students here, this chapter is very appropriate. And there's a few important points here we are going to mention, inshallah. But I'll keep it brief because this sequence will be continuing until the end of the book. So this will mean that in practice, or in fact, this course will contain 21 lessons because the book contains 21 points. Now, Bismillah, we turn to the Arabic text. النقطة الرابعة in Arabic, that would be the 4th point. آداب الطالب, as we said before, أو كما قلت. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعلى المتعلم أن يوقر معلمه ويتأدب معه حسب ما يقدر عليه لما له من الحق العام والخاص. أما العام الحق العام أما العام فإن معلم الخير قد استعد لنفع الخلق بتعليمه وفتواه، فحقه على الناس حق المحسنين، ولا إحسان أعظم وأنفع من إحسان من يرشد الناس لأمر دينهم ويعلمهم ما جهلوا وينبئهم لما عنه غفلوا ويحصل بسبب ذلك من الخير وانقماع الشر ونشر الدين والمعارف النافعة ما هو أنفع شيء للموجودين ومن أتى من بعدهم من ذريتهم وغيرهم. So these are the first few lines, and I'll translate it here. So آداب الطالب, these are the manners of the student of knowledge, or the manners prescribed for the student of knowledge. The student, الطالب, or here al-muta'allim, as we also said, the student must respect his teacher, and the teacher is al-mu'allim. So we have al-muta'allim wal-mu'allim. The student must respect his teacher and behave well with him as much as he can, since he holds a lot of rights, generally and specifically. So the point here we take here, and it's also clear, of course, from the title of this paragraph or this chapter, is adab or adab, which is the plural of adab. This is a very important point. And adab, you can only learn it from spending time with a teacher. And because sometimes you might not be aware of the fact that you have no adab, or qalil min al-adab, or little adab. So although you need to respect the teacher and behave well with him, it also works, there's some reciprocity there. It will reflect back on you, the way you behave with the teacher, and your teacher might actually be an aid in helping you attain that adab. But anyways, let's continue. So we can just on this point, I mean, you can give a whole lecture actually. Then he says, أما العام, in general, the one who teaches good things has prepared himself to benefit people by educating them and clarifying rulings. بتعليمه وفتواه. So clarifying rulings by way of giving fatwa. The right he has on the people is actually the same right as philanthropists. Philanthropists here, the word in Arabic is al-muhsinin. The ones who do good, those who do good. No generous, excuse me, no generous charity could be greater or more beneficial than the kindness found in guiding people in the affairs of their religion, teaching them what they need to know and reminding them about what they overlooked. And so here the author, rahimahullah, he makes a comparison between teaching and spreading knowledge and giving charity. And of course, there is no greater charity in that sense than, and no or more beneficial charity than guiding people in their religion and teaching them. Through these matters, so much good is accomplished as well as the obstruction of so much evil. So good is accomplished and evil is being prevented by teaching knowledge, by teaching people. The religion and its beneficial teachings spread far and wide, and the most advantageous things for the people of that time, as well as their children and many others to come after them. We turn to the second page. فلولا العلم كان الناس كالبهائم في ظلمة يتخبطون وفي غيرهم يأمهون. This is an interesting comparison here, or an interesting analogy the author makes here, that if it were not for knowledge, فلولا العلم كان الناس كالبهائم في ظلمة يتخبطون وفي غيرهم. It's a very interesting comparison, and this is a comparison actually you will find in the writings of many ulama, and you will hear it in speeches given by them, that if it was not for knowledge, people would be like grazing cattle or grazing animals. And subhanallah, if you think about this, this is the state of many people around us. And it might be or sound a little bit denigrating, but in reality it's true, because what do a lot of people do? Just look around you. All they do is graze, meaning they eat, they sleep, they work, they wake up, they go to work, they eat, they go to sleep. They're not benefiting, and they're not giving benefit, and they're not seeking knowledge, and they're not educating themselves. This is the case for the majority of the people, sadly enough. May Allah guide us all. And who wants to be compared to a grazing animal? Like I said, it's kind of denigrating, but ask yourself, do you want to be compared to a grazing animal or to grazing cattle? It's not a nice thing, and it's not your purpose in this life. Anyways, that's a lesson we can take here. Let's continue. فهو النور الذي يهتدى به في الظلمات. So knowledge is the light that leads the way through darkness. So knowledge here is compared with a guiding light, a guiding lamp. والحياة للقلوب والأرواح والدين والدنيا. So knowledge is the true life of the hearts and the souls. القلوب والأرواح. And that of the religion and worldly affairs as well. والبلد الذي ليس فيه من يبين للناس أمر دينهم ويرشدهم لما ينتابهم مما هم مضطرون إليه لا خير في الإقامة فيه فمن كان هذا إحسانه وأثره على الخلق كيف لا يجب على كل مسلم محبته وتوقيره والقيام بحقوقه. So there can be no good life anywhere without someone there clarifying the people's religious affairs or guiding them in matters of concern which they need to be aware of. So the author here, the Shaykh, he points us towards the importance of having teachers around, of having examples around who guide us and who teach us. Consider a person who extends this type of kindness having this kind of impact on the people. How could it not be obligatory on every Muslim to love him, respect him, and uphold his rights? Speaking about the status of this person and what he deserves. Not that he or she should feel entitled to this, but it's something that should come naturally. Then the last paragraph. وأما حقه الخاص على المتعلم فلما بذله من تعليمه والحرص على ما يرشده ويوصله إلى أعلى الدرجات فليس نفع الآباء والأمهات نظيرا لنفع المعلمين المربين للناس بصغار العلم قبل كباره الباذلين نفاعس أوقاتهم وصفوة أفكارهم في تفحيم المسترشدين بكل طريق ووسيلة يقدرون عليها وإذا كان من أحسن إلى الإنسان بهدية مالية ينتفع بها ثم تذهب وتزول له حق كبير على المحسن إليه فما ظن بهدايا العلم النافع الكثيرة المتنوعة الباقي نفعها ما دام العبد حيا وبعد مماته المتسلسل بحسب حال تلك الهدايا فحينئذ يعرف حقه ويوقره ويحسن الأدب معه. So the teacher has other rights too, those which are more specific to each student. And as you remember, he said in the beginning, لما له من الحق العام والخاص. So he spoke about the general rights of the teacher over the student, and now he speaks about the specific rights of the teacher over the student. So the teacher has other rights too, those which are more specific to each student based on his efforts in educating him specifically, as well as his focus on guiding him and helping him to reach lofty levels of achievement. So the teacher wants best for his student, basically. He wants him to reach high levels of knowledge and practice. Not even the care afforded by mothers and fathers could be compared to the benefit of masterful teachers masterful teachers, yeah. المعلمين المربين, who cultivate people with the most appropriate issues of knowledge in calculated, graduated progression. They spend their most precious hours, extend their most refined ideas to help students understand in every way they can, using every means they possess. Consider when someone gives another person a generous gift of wealth. Even though it's beneficial, it is soon depleted and gone. Such a person has a significant right over those who benefited from his kindness. Yet, what do you think about the numerous gifts of beneficial knowledge given by a teacher in their many forms, things which remain for the rest of a person's life and even beyond his death, going on based on the nature of those gifts? Consider this, or considering this, the student understands the rights or the right of his teacher. He respects him and treats him well. So here the author ends again with the same point he started with, namely adab. Adab and adab. Cannot stress this enough. The importance of adab of the student with his teacher. Because of what? Because of what he teaches him, mainly. And interestingly enough, the author also here makes a comparison between the role of the teacher and the role of the parents, and also the status of both of them. And what we can derive from this is that the role and the status of the teacher is higher than the role and the status of the parents of that particular student. Again, adab. Of course, I mean, if you cannot have adab with your parents, how can you have adab with your teacher? Think about this, you know. If you cannot have adab with your children, how can you have adab with the rest of creation? Think about these comparisons. So very important here. With this, we end this lesson here and this section, and I'll see you in the next lesson, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khaira for your attention, for your time. If there's any questions or any remarks you have, please feel free to respond. I will do my best to respond as quickly as possible. Until then, barakallahu fikum, subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.